Hello everybody, Final Miner back for another episode of our Let's Play. And as you can see behind me, it's snowing a little bit. It's actually a thundering snowstorm. I just heard a bit of thunder a second ago. So that's that could be interesting. We may have some fires out in the woods out there. So last episode we put together a set of dark steel armor and we added some abilities to it. We added jump and flippers down here, and we added sound detection, and we also bumped all of them up to empowered 3. I was a little bit, not very, a little bit I was a little bit concerned about whether or not these armor pieces could be repaired in the item repairer. Yep, they sure can. And actually, you may remember before when I tried to fix my chisel, it would drain this entire energy reserve and barely do anything for the chisel. These pieces of armor are perfect for using the repairer, and the reason why is most of the damage goes onto the energy. At this point I think it's 75%, 70. So 70% of the damage goes to the energy first. We can fix that really easy just by recharging them, and then that little bit of durability damage that leaks through we can fix in the item repairer. So because it's only repairing a little bit of durability, it actually doesn't cost that much energy. So perfect. Let's see, that's sun going down. Yeah. Okay, so also between episodes, excuse me, I just ate something really spicy, so my nose is running just a little bit. Between episodes, I went to the nether, and I realized that you know, that gigantic open plains of soul sand that the night slime shovel just tore to pieces. Well, the nether fortress around that was actually a completely separate nether fortress from the first one we found. So I went ahead and explored it, and I found some really good stuff. One thing I discovered is that you can go to your induction smelter and you can toss in, let's say, the gold chest plate. You know how when you're in a nether fortress you can pretty commonly find a golden chest plate. Well, if you take that golden chest plate and you toss it into an induction smelter together with one piece of sand, you'll get 8 gold ingots out of it. That's pretty good. If a chest plate has full durability, you can also put it into a tinker's smeltery, a tinker's construct smeltery, and it'll produce 8 gold out of it as well. But the big thing that I discovered, let's see here, is that you can take golden horse armor, gold horse armor, which is, you know, fairly common in dungeon chests, and you can also put that in here with a piece of sand, and it'll give you 10 gold, 10 pieces of gold. You know, if you've got big time auto mining going on, 10 pieces of gold is for us, because I'm still having to put my own time and work into using our vertical digger. 10 pieces of gold is nice to pick up. So let's see, gold horse, and I think the reason why we can get that is because of this recipe. I'm not sure if this is a vanilla recipe or if it's added by a mod, but because of the golden helmet costing 5 and then this other 5, you get 10 pieces of gold out of them. Pretty awesome. And I found a bunch of other really good things in the nether fortress chests. Oh yeah. I went ahead and made the potions that we'll need for our armor. But I also found diamond horse armor. And the thing about diamond horse armor is that you can stick it in a pulverizer and get 10 diamonds out of it. Okay, come on. That's worth it no matter what, right? 10 diamonds? So, I never made it a huge priority to carry diamond horse armor home before. From now on, oh yeah, we're carrying diamond horse armor home. And the actually additions crusher only gives you 6 for some reason. Not quite sure. That might be based, it might be based on an old recipe for horse armor, like maybe a mod recipe, something like that. It looks like they all give 6. So anyway, we found that. That's worth 10 diamonds as soon as we get a thermal expansion pulverizer. We found another swapping wand. That's our second one. That'll be really good for decorating. Actually, I used the other one to decorate the undergarden. So yeah, those are pretty useful. Displacement wand. So it acts like a piston. You could say it that way. You can use it on a block to act like a piston, and you can probably use it from a distance. I wonder if this works on entities like chests. We'll have to try that out. How about we go ahead and try that out? I don't want to pull that much. Wow, I can pull that much. Let's see. I think there's a way to change the size of it. So let's see. Yeah, because I actually used it when I used the other wand down in the undergarden. Wand modifier equals. How about we change that to something else? Okay. Oh. Oh, good enough for now. Single mode. Okay. Not enough. Oh, it takes experience. Okay. Well, that's sort of interesting. Now we found a salamander's eye. Salamander's eye, first of all, it's really useful. Second of all, it's the perfect thing to find in the nether. I mean, absolutely perfect. Here's why. When you hold it, which I think it means it has to be in your hand the way it is in my hand right now, it stops all blaze fireballs. It automatically reflects gassed fireballs, and I'll tell you about that in a second. And if you're on fire, it puts you out, and if there are fires near you, it'll put those out too. So it's the ultimate fire, well, almost the ultimate fire protection item for the nether. There's actually an upgrade to it, and I think the upgrade lets you go into lava without getting hurt. Yeah, it automatically reflects gas fireballs. You don't have to punch at them or anything. What I did notice, which was pretty interesting, is when they get reflected just like when you hit them. In other words, when they get reflected, they go straight towards where you're aiming. So for example, let's say there was a ghast right up here, and he shot at me, and I was looking at the lamp. When the eye here, when it reflected it, the fireball would go straight towards the eye. So that's actually super useful, because you know how ghasts like to move around a lot while they're shooting at you, and so you might want to lead them a little bit, and you can kind of aim ahead of where the ghast is going, and when the fireball gets reflected, it'll head that way. So these are awesome at fighting ghasts. Really awesome. And yes, this is similar to what you think it is. Very similar. Over here in the alloy smelter, we found a capacitor of what is this doing here. You can decipher ancient runes that translate roughly as incredibly big, impossible capacitor. Well, the one we found here is ancient capacitor. And it says if you had to describe this, enhanced hot, enhanced crushed, enhanced capacitor. So if you know what that means, like if it makes sense to you, then please tell me. I don't get it. So obviously we're going to stick this sucker in here. It didn't change the amount of energy that it had. I'm really curious to see what it does for you know, crushing speed. Let's take a stack of cobble. It did not change the amount of energy. Usually when you tier up to a better level capacitor, usually that will cause the energy storage to increase too. Well, this didn't change at all, right? 300,000, 300,000. Okay, wow, that's pretty quick. Switch it back out. Yeah, definitely slower. Definitely slower. It's about twice as fast, I'd say. Okay, awesome. Awesome. That's a really good find. Our sag mill is running twice as fast now. So let's see, we can toss this in here with the other one. And we can toss our wands and stuff together in here. The horse armor. We don't have a pulverizer yet. I think we'll just kind of hang on to it. So anyway, wrong corner. Yeah, there we are. We have the potions we've been waiting for. Let's go ahead and get our enhancements. We wanted swiftness. There's probably more than one level of that. You know, I bet there is. And then we also wanted night vision. We'll do night vision first. 4 levels. Okay. Give me night vision. Is there another level? Of course not. I would not expect more than 1 level. Okay. Give me speed. Is there more than 1 level of speed? Yes. So we'll toss this in. Get level 2. Derp. And this will be 8. Give me level 3 speed. So, is there a level 4 speed? Doesn't look like it. Nope, looks like we've got max level speed now. So, yay! Yay, yay, yay. Oh yeah, you can feel it. You can feel how much faster I am. I think this is about as fast or faster than I was sprinting before. Stick those in here for now. We'll see how fast we can sprint. Oh, I also figured out, I was kind of a derp. As soon as you get jump on your boots, you get step assist, which is fantastic for 2 reasons. First of all, it makes life so much easier. Second of all, the jump, even just the basic jump, like the single jump, makes you jump too high to go over a 1 block tall space. So for example, I came here and tried to jump in and I hit my head. That would be really annoying. Alright, speed test. Let's see how fast we are now. Okay, good and fast. Not the fastest I've ever seen, but it'll be a lot more fun this way. Okay, so the only thing we have to do to improve the armor more, we can improve the energy 1 more time, and that'll also make it more durable. And then we can add enchantments to them on top of this, and then they will be quite insane. They'll be crazy, crazy insane. The only thing stronger I know of would be blood magic armor or draconic armor. So, and both of those are, we're not going to do blood magic, but both of those are a good way off. Okay, good stuff. Excellent. I found all those treasures. Be back in just a second. Okay, so our next big project is going to be none other than the excavator. Yes, the great big granddaddy of all mining machines. If you've ever wanted basically unlimited amounts of ores, this is how you do it. This is the way to do it. However, we're not quite ready to build the multi-block yet. First, we're going to have to use the core sample drill to be able to find a chunk that's actually going to have something worthwhile. So let's see what that's going to take. Can we? Yes. Core sample. The core sample drill. The core sample drill tells you whether or not there's a vein in that chunk that can be pulled up by the excavator. Because we have immersive petroleum, it can also tell us if there's oil to be pumped up in that chunk. So that could be pretty cool. You know what? We might almost have the materials for that. We don't have the... Yeah, we don't have the light engineering blocks, and it looks like we need a little steel fence. But that's overall not too bad. Not too shabby. So let's take that, take our one steel rod, make some steel rods. Let's see here, like that, right? We don't have a whole ton of steel, but the arc furnace can make it for us. So, yeah, not something to worry about. So how much do we get for this? 3? Yeah, that's enough. Okay, and we also need 2 light engineering blocks, which means we're going to need, guess what? Iron and copper. I think we just need the 2. I think that recipe makes 2, right? Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, it makes 2. So let's get 2 of these. And then we actually need... There's a moth flying right in my face. Okay, we needed more copper. There we go. 2, and give me 1. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Okay. First, let's... Oh, I can't remember. Can I show chunk boundaries? Oh no, chunk boundaries. I think there might actually be a chunk boundary key, and if not, we have another way to do it. So hold on while I make sure I've got my hotkeys set. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. So I obviously don't even know vanilla Minecraft anymore. Yeah, I'm using the F3G display. So yeah, that's what we'll use. So how about we start in our front yard, at least as a way to show how this fellow works. You place him down. He looks like he's 3 blocks tall, but he's actually just 1 block. And then you need to feed it a little bit of energy, and right click it to tell it to go, and it'll drill down there and bring up a sample, a core sample, and that will tell you if there's anything in this chunk. And what we got was no minerals, no fluids, basically nothing. Trash. Okay, and so that goes for this entire chunk that we're standing in right now. You know, if I move it 1 block this way, it's not going to change. It's on a chunk by chunk basis. Okay, so let's take our capacitor. We'll come up to this next chunk. And probably what I'll do is I'll just keep going in a straight line. That way I kind of know which chunks I've checked and which ones I haven't. There's no way to keep track of it, you know, in the mod itself, as far as I know. I guess you could save those core samples, and that would tell you the location, right? But that's, I don't know, that's kind of limited use in my opinion. I think if you keep them around, there's a chance that you'll confuse which one you just pulled up to. So for simplicity's sake, no minerals, no fluids. Take care of that, please. Thank you. Yeah, ender lilies will act like a cactus when you throw an item at them, in case you didn't know. We'll do one more on camera, and then I'll spend some time off camera to see if we can actually come up with something. Go, my minion. Have I bragged on this sword? Have I bragged on how well it kills things? Yeah. Like, it didn't one-shot that Enderman because Endermen have, I think, 40 health. But everything else around here, it is fantastic for. Yeah, nothing here either. So, I am going to go ahead and take some time off camera, see if we can find something promising. Okay, so just a little bit away from the base, we found something interesting. This core sample says it has lava. Okay, so it's got about 1,000 buckets worth of lava. Is that useful? It's useful in this way. If we ever decide that we need tons and tons of lava, we don't have to go and have nether chunks loaded. We'll call it lava chunk. That seems like a really no confusion way of tracking it. So yeah, if we ever needed, you know, lots and lots of lava, instead of pumping it from the nether, we could just pump it from right over here. Okay, the very next chunk over, we found water. It almost makes you wonder if Blue Sunrise knows how this game works. Water. Actually, I can see on certain maps that would be really useful. Any of the maps where water does not naturally reflow, and that might even count as pure water for maps like Crash Landing, stuff like that, where normally you have to purify the water. That could be really, really good for that. For our uses, totally useless. And look what we found here. The very next chunk, again, close to our meteors, we found an oil chunk. Oh, excellent. Oh, joyous day. Let's go ahead and mark that on the map. Oil chunk. Yeah, so that's, I guess you could say, the most significant part of immersive petroleum is that it adds some chunks that have oil, and you can pump that up and refine it, and then you can burn that as fuel, which I'm actually very, very interested in doing that in the future. So we'll just have to see. Alright, more chunks to explore. Okay, I checked the next chunk and there's nothing in it, but it made me think there's something that might be useful to you guys, and that's a little quirk of the laws that regard random numbers. When you think about random things, you tend to think of something that's like scattered all over the place, right? Just, we would think randomly scattered all over the place. But actually, if you look at any kind of collection of random numbers, what you find is you find certain places where things group up together. For example, we just found another oil chunk. I've done chunk searching before, and you never find this much stuff this quickly. And so here's what's useful. Like, so what? Why does it matter? Whenever you find something that's supposed to be kind of random, if you want to find more of it, you should look around in the same area. Because if something is actually really random, they have a strong tendency to group up. So if you're looking for diamonds and you find diamonds, look around in that area, see if you can find more diamonds. Believe it or not, you actually have a little bit better than normal chance to find them together. So that's anytime you're doing something random, you can use that kind of statistical fact to your advantage. Alright, nerd rant over. Well, that was almost a disaster. Thankfully this thing seems to be immune to creeper blasts. Okay, we finally found a vein that has something besides water, lava, and oil. And this chunk seems to have cassiterite. Cassiterite. Expected yield 38,000 ores. That's quite a lot. Cassiterite. Now, whenever you get a core sample like this, rarely is it going to say, gold, you found a gold vein. It'll have a name like cassiterite, and I think most of them, they actually have a number of different ores that you can pick up from them. So, for example, you'll have you'll have a vein that might be something like 85% iron and 15% nickel, something like that. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's in cassiterite. So we'll just mark it. Mark it. Cassiterite chunk. We'll mark it and look it up later. Right? Alright, back in a minute. Okay, we actually found something else right outside of the factory, and that is a magnetite. Magnetite. If you look at it, it looks like it has lapis, iron, and gold in it. That's actually kind of interesting. It also says it has water in it. So I guess it has both. It's got magnetite and also water. Interesting. So there's no way this would work, right? There's no way that there's no Look, I've got lava in my factory. Yeah, actually you can put the excavator anywhere inside of a chunk and you'll dig up, you know, whatever's in there. I assume the same thing goes for the pump jacks from Immersive Petroleum. So like this magnetite chunk we have right next door, we could put the excavator up at world height and it would still dig it out. Yeah. So they even work in void worlds, things like that, where there's obviously not any ore at all. But yeah, kind of funny. Okay, found another good one right next to our base. That's a nickel vein. So it has lava in there, so I guess that's what the bottom thing is. That bottom color is the lava. And then it says nickel, and if you look at that color right there, that kind of looks like platinum, doesn't it? Nickel and platinum. So this could actually be a really, really lucrative vein. Mark it right there. Nickel. If we ever decide that we want lots of nickel and platinum, we're not going to have to go very far to get it. Yes, the core sample drill works literally anywhere. Literally anywhere at all. And here's a new one, just on the west side of the base. Pyrite. Looks like it's got some iron in it and something else. Guess we'll find out. So we're actually having tons of luck. The thing I told you before about random numbers, it's actually all true. However, what's not correct is that you don't find stuff this often. I mean, look over here. Look at how much stuff we found. It was almost every chunk over here. And granted, most of it is oil or lava. This one was, what's that? Can't read it. Something chunk. Most of it's oil and lava, but there's a bunch of them.